Hi, today's movie is the classic 1925 film of The Phantom of the Opera starring Lon Chaney. Now, full disclosure, yes, I've seen this film, but not for probably 25 years. I honestly can't remember when the last time I saw it was, but it was a long time ago. I remember bits and pieces about this one, but I'm really curious to see it again. Let's check out The Phantom of the Opera. That's a really nice effect for the opening title. Ooh, look at that. There's actually something going on behind those titles. I couldn't tell what it was. There was some shadowy figure moving. Wow. They're getting right into it with the torture chambers and hidden dungeons right from the first intertitle. Wow. What a fantastic shot. What have they done there? Is it a matte painting? That looks like a real set. That's very impressive. This looks really expensive. Now, of course, that's the famous Phantom stage, which I've spotted in so many other movies over the years. Loving these tints. I love how they're already getting into the different levels of the opera. They started off with the idea of the dungeon, then they got to the stage, now they're in the executive offices up high. And what are they up to? They look so seedy. Oh, okay. So they're selling the opera house. I don't remember any of this. Dodgy. There we go. I love how they tell the new owners about the Phantom just after they've signed the deal to sell the house. The sensible thing would have been to just leave and not tell them about it at all. I have to say this ballet chorus does look a little bit under-rehearsed. Ooh, that's very Dracula-like. If you saw that still of the guy in the box and didn't know which film it was from, you might well think it was from Dracula because it really had that look. This ballet is a little bit sloppy, I have to say. But big finish, well done. Beautiful shot. Fantastic. Now, the print I'm watching has all sorts of weird sound effects dubbed onto it, which I don't really like, and voices. I find it a bit distracting, to be honest. Not sinister at all. That's a great set. Wow. Another amazing set. This is giving me Dr. Caligari vibes. Look at that. Fantastically creepy. I'm going to have to turn this soundtrack down because it's so annoying. They've got a cast of voice actors adding a lot of dialogue to it. I'm finding the acting of these ballet chorus girls a little bit not adding to the atmosphere of dread. They are doing it in a very pantomime-y style. They're really trying to go for some comedy here too, which I don't remember. I don't know when this soundtrack was added with all the voice actors and sound effects and things. I know they did some of that earlier on in the early days of movies, but I'm not sure if this was done at the time or not. I don't think it adds to the movie. It's just distracting. Cool wig. The costumes for this are pretty sensational. Nice. This reminds me of a Gustave Doré etching, engraving. The art direction on this is amazing. With the implication being that once they're married, she will never sing again, I guess. Could just get married and let her continue to sing in the opera. It's amazing that this was just the assumption back then, that when a woman got married, she'd stop working.
Never forget, it was the master who tonight placed the music world of Paris at your feet.
I shall always be grateful.
The dialogue in this version that they've put on over the top of the film doesn't actually match the intertitles. That's the annoying thing about it. Very Thing from the Addams Family. I find it a bit awkward the way they're trying to combine the comedy moments with the horror story. But I guess this was pretty early in the evolution of the horror movie. Maybe they were a bit afraid to make it too dark. It is a brilliant setting to have the story centered in the opera house, because you can have so many characters coming in with different agendas. Oh, here we go. Great. That's fantastic. I love how we've only seen him in silhouette so far, in shadow. Wow, beautifully done. Oh, watch out! Oof! That was really well done. Ooh, people getting trampled and everything. The unfortunate associations we have with watching this today is it seems like, you know, a terrorist act. Ooh. Beautifully staged and really well edited. It's so frustrating. I want to see more of Lon Chaney because he's such a great star of this period. We've only seen little tantalising grabs of him so far. Mary Feldman does project wonderful, innocent quality on the screen. Oh, behind you! Ooh. A lot of these images do remind me of engravings from the 19th century. What a beautiful shot. So wonderfully composed and lit. That detail of the lantern on the front of the boat is just perfection. Wow. Stunning. What a stunning image. They must have spent a fortune making this movie. I have this theory that the Phantom of the Opera is actually the first incel, because he's an unattractive guy who lives in a basement, can't get a girlfriend. He makes a really big deal about it. That mask is pretty creepy. I've forgotten about this mask and the weird mouth bit. It's a bit of an alarming situation when you think about it. He's lured her into his dungeon. A masked guy luring you into his dungeon is an alarming situation. Today it has associations of serial killers, which I guess back then it probably didn't, but... Wow. Did take her a while to figure that out. What did she think? What did she think before when there was a ghostly voice coming through the wall? Who did she think it was? I guess at this time film acting was still in that sort of pantomime-y style. Silent film acting. Although not everywhere, as, you know, I've seen silent films from other countries where it is in a more realistic style. Now that's a bedroom and a half. Fantastic. I like this bring in newspaper headlines as another, you know, way of delivering information. I mean, the trappings may be very nice, but she is still trapped in a man's dungeon. Uh-oh. Wedding veil. That's disturbing. I don't remember thinking it was so stalkerish when I saw it before. And all this thing about you'll be free as long as you do this, it's all so conditional, isn't it? There's a kind of implicit threat in it. That if she doesn't do what he wants, she won't be free. There he goes again with his ominous undercurrents, warnings. There is a kind of level of threat in all of this which I really didn't pick up on as a youngster watching it. Wow. That is a sensational reveal. God. That makeup is pretty amazing. God, look at him. He really does look monstrous. Oof. So he's blaming her. I'm finding it quite hard to feel sympathetic towards the Phantom in this viewing. There's all this creepy, kidnapping, manipulative behaviour and threats. Oh, beautiful shot. That's lovely. The set is bonkers. Oh, okay. So we're in full colour, or 3 colour here. This must have been pretty mind-blowing to viewers at the time. Still looks pretty cool. God, how many extras are in this scene? This is really well staged. Fantastic. Oof. Can't get over this set. Crazy. Wow. Another amazing visual. I wonder if that's just a painting? Like a matte painting? Or a backdrop? Painted backdrop? Oh, no. Oh! Wow. Sensational imagery in this movie. Oof. I hate to say it, but the Phantom does seem to have a really toxic sense of entitlement. He thinks she's betrayed him because she loves a man that she's loved all along. They were childhood sweethearts. He really expects that she owes him this love because he likes her. Wow. Spectacular. Master of Black Art. Okay, this is interesting. I don't remember this at all. So the Phantom is actually criminally insane. Interesting how he is much more of a dangerous figure, I think, in this than he is in, you know, subsequent musical adaptations, for example. Brilliant, just using the shadow to convey what's happened. So the Phantom isn't just like a serial killer keeping a woman in his dungeon. He actually is a serial killer. First with the chandelier incident, now he's hanged some guy. All while writing letters to terrorise the opera owners. This is all pretty serial killerish stuff. I hadn't remembered how dark of a figure they make him in this movie. I guess before, when I watched it when I was younger, I thought of him as more of a pitiable creature. But now, he just does seem like, you know, a monstrous serial killer. Uh-oh. Wow. That was really well done. I got chills with that bit. Okay, secret police guy. Okay, so the Phantom was tortured in the torture chambers where he now resides. I hope they'll give us a little bit more backstory about the Phantom because I want to know more about why he's like this. Say what you like about the Phantom, but at least he wasn't an anti-masker. If he was around today, he'd definitely be on the internet doing this. Wow. I'm just astounded by these sets. Really beautifully designed. That makeup is phenomenal. I think that Lon Chaney designed his own makeups. I think is amazing. Wow. Oh, watch out. This is a very Jaws-ish moment. Oh, so creepy. Oh, God. So he's drowned Raoul's brother. He is full serial killer now. The musical adaptation of this, I think, really plays up the sympathetic qualities of the Phantom. This film absolutely does not. I think when I saw it when I was young, I was kind of seeing it through the lens of the musical, but I'm not now. So in this version, he composes operas. If he was around today, he'd be recording podcasts. Podcasts about how he can't get a girlfriend because women are awful, I guess. Ooh, look at that effect. Very cool lighting. So he's a guy who kills a bunch of people and now has some trapped in elaborate torture dungeons. If this story was being made for the first time today, it'd be something more like Saw. Oof. I hadn't picked up on the kind of rapey nature of his character either when I was younger watching it. Isn't this all elaborate serial killer stuff? That looks spectacular. Wow. Oh no! Oh God. I love how they're contrasting the flooding scenes with the fire. Interesting that the Phantom was tortured in the previous revolution, and now what's happening seems like another revolution by the workers of the opera against his tyranny. Because he is a tyrant in the opera house. Such a dynamic shot. Oh! Oh! Wow. Love this shot. He looks at his most monstrous there. The makeup is just so incredibly ghoulish. He really has that cadaverous look to him. Brilliant. It's a real sense of excitement in these scenes. Very well done. Oh, nice escape. Oof. Oof. Bloody hell. Now, is that the set from The Hunchback of Notre Dame? I'm not sure which one was made first. Troll till the end. I have to say, I don't feel sorry for him. I think he absolutely deserved it. Wow. That was so different to how I remembered it. I guess my reaction to it was very different to what it was many years ago. Oof. Well, that was really different to how I remembered it. I guess in my mind I sort of conflated it with the musical adaptation, and I had thought of the Phantom as a much more sympathetic character. But watching it this time around, I didn't feel that way about him at all. He really does seem like a sort of homicidal incel, trolling everyone around him, terrorizing everyone around him. Feeling that he's entitled to the love of Christine just because he, helps her to sing. regardless of the fact that she's already in love with someone else. This film does feel a little bit slow in some parts today to a modern viewer, but I think it does build to a very exciting and satisfying climax in the end. But I think the most interesting about this as a monster film, as a horror film, is that they really don't play up the sympathy for the phantom. I guess with films like Boris Karloff's Frankenstein, we do sort of have an expectation that the monster will have some sympathetic qualities, but really, I didn't find Eric to have any sympathetic points. He does lead a kind of tyranny over the people of the opera house, and in the end he is taken down by the mob, destroyed by the mob, just like in the revolutions that they allude to throughout the story, as you know, the French monarchy was taken down by the mob. And I think the most interesting point about it is its darkness, the bleakness of its story. This is a really interesting glimpse into the very early days of the American horror film, and a really interesting glimpse into how the monster was presented in terms of being sympathetic or unsympathetic. But I think if you're coming at it today with a fresh, modern perspective, it's very hard not to see him as a kind of serial killer figure, which to me I think just adds another dimension of interest to the story. Is this the first film that presents a kind of serial killer? I don't know. But I do stand by my theory that the Phantom of the Opera is perhaps the first incel represented in popular culture. He certainly demonstrates a lot of those characteristics, and he does live in a basement. If you've enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope I'll see you next time. Bye.